So I became what's called a duty soldier. That's where you sit around you run errands for the first sergeant or the commander in your company, and you spend all day in the orderly room. So the first sergeant come in about 2 weeks. I did that, and then the first sergeant come in and says, "I got some orders for you. Because you flunked out of school. Now the Army can put you anywhere they want. They can put you in the infantry and send you to Vietnam, or they'll any kind of job that they can think of, they can make you do it, or they can put you in it." So they put me into cook school. I had to go to cook school to be a 94B. So cook school is located at Fort Knox, Kentucky, at least the one I was going to, and that's where I had to go. Now I'll tell you a little bit about the school. The rough thing about the school was, for us trainees, us 94B trainees, our uniforms were cook whites. That's the kind of uniform we had all through school. We didn't have no funny hat. We had our regular ball caps, but for the rest of the uniform was white. And so every day when we get up, we'd get dressed, we'd go over to the mess hall and have breakfast. Then we had to go to school. We had to go to where the school was at. Well, the school wasn't in that area. It was across the street. It was like a road. You had to go across the road and down a hill, and it was about 300 yards away. So we had to march there. Well, after the first day that we did this, we realized that from now on, we need to get up earlier and get in the mess hall, get that done, eat quickly, and get out of there, and then get down to the school or get down to the road and cross it before the tanks come by. Because every day was tank training. And the first day that we got down there, we're nonchalant, marching down there. We get to the road, and here comes tanks. So we waited. What could we do? After 30 tanks went by, don't forget, 30 tanks are driving by. It was cool watching them, but the problem was they're all diesel. And so we're covered in specks of diesel, dirt, I like to call it. And if you took your hand and wiped it, as you're going to wipe it off, you just smeared it. It looked terrible. So when we got to the classroom, the master cook, our instructor, he said, "You guys need to get up earlier now and get down here without any of that crap on you, because I don't want that crap inside the building where we're cooking." Yes, Sergeant, we understand. So we did. We got up earlier, and we got across that road before those tanks started rolling down the road. So that was an interesting point. So in the classroom was kind of interesting also. You think that to cook an egg or anything. First, let me tell you about the classroom. We're all and it was just like on TV almost. We're all standing there, where each person had his own sink, his stove, and on top he had pots and pans up there, and he opened a drawer and it had knives in it, and everything that you need, spatulas, that kind of thing, and dish. I won't say dish. You had your own apron to put on, all that kind of stuff. So it was interesting. So when the class started, the guy said, the instructor says, "We're going to cook an egg today. We're going to start out by frying an egg." And we're going, okay, fine, A couple of guys picked up the spatula. "Put that damn thing down. I didn't tell you to pick that up yet." He said, "Reach over to on your left side and grab an egg out of the box that's there." Okay, so we reached over, picked up an egg. He says, "And this is how you crack it open." And he showed you how they wanted you to crack it open. And if you didn't crack it open the same way every time, you got in trouble for it. It was, "Get down and give me 10, Okay, fine. But you cracked the egg into, then you had to crack it into a frying pan. You can reach up, grab your frying pan, put it on a stove, and then he'd tell you how to light the stove. Okay, with your right hand, you'll notice there's a little glass there. It's got oil in it. Pour all of that oil in the frying pan. Okay, and then he gets out his watch and he's looking at his watch. He says, "Okay, all right, so we got about another minute." Okay, it was boiling, not boiling, but it was hot. And he says, "Okay, now put that egg, crack that open, that egg, and put it in the frying pan." And everybody did the same thing, and there's cooking. He said, "Now also, with your right hand, open the drawer and get out the spatula." And then he showed you, he does it. This is what a spatula looks like. This is going to be your tool. You're going to be using this tool a lot while you're here, so get used to it. Okay, fine. So you get out the spatula. I hate to laugh, but I mean, it really was funny. So you get out the spatula, and you use it to turn the egg. You flip it over, and everybody did. And then you had to put the spatula up in the air. And if you put it up in the air, that meant you got your egg flipped over. Okay, put it down. Okay, and then put the spatula in the. Then you had to wait till it cooked. Okay, use your spatula, get that egg out of there, and put it on a plate. And you have to reach over and get the plate, put it down, and you put it on a plate. Okay, fine. Now, turn off the stove. So you turn off the stove. That's it. And then he says, "You'll also notice in the drawer there's a knife and a fork." Excuse me. Get out the knife and fork and eat the egg. Okay, fine. So we did, and a lot of guys was trying to talk and laugh, and he's going, "Get on, give me 10. Get on, give me 10." To those guys. We're not here to have fun or laugh and carry on. Just follow my instructions. Okay, so we did. Learned very quickly that he was in charge, and you had to do what he said and do it right, or you get on and give me 10. So that was crazy. I mean, that was our first lesson, and so after that we learned a lot of stuff. How to cut meat. They gave us an iron glove you put on so you wouldn't cut yourself, and then they taught you how to cut meat and do all those kind of things. It was pretty cool the way that part was. So after the first 5 weeks of this, it was repetition, just repetition. You come in, you cook an egg every day, repetition, 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 and then you have to take lessons on how the mess hall, how to set up a mess hall, where to put the condiments, check off how to read a menu, and then how to open cans, stuff like that kind of stuff. Everything that you'd do if you were a cook, and so that was kind of interesting. But we got it all done, and after 5 weeks, they told us you now have 3 days to do whatever you want to do. You're off for 3 days. Oh, cool. Well, I stayed there. A lot of the guys got, they went down to the taxi stand and got a taxi and went down to Louisville, Kentucky. And but I stayed there. I stayed there for 1 day, and then my buddies are going, let's go down to Louisville. Okay, fine. So we went down and we got put our uniforms, our fatigue. It wasn't fatigues. We couldn't go in fatigues. We had to use our khakis because it was warm now. So we put our khakis on and then we went downtown and on the bus. And so when we got off the bus, we're walking down the sidewalk, and there's a guy asleep in a planter, where you got plants, it's raised up, it's got plants there. There's a guy sleeping in that, and I can't say it here, but he wasn't completely dressed. Let's put it that way. So we woke him up, and then he just kind of, and about the same time a policeman came by, we flagged him down, and he took care of the problem. So we walked down to one of the bars that was there on a corner, and we went in there and we started drinking. I mean, we drank a lot. We drank so much that I ended up in the bathroom, sitting on the floor next to the toilet, puking my guts out. And long story, or actually a long night short, when they were closing up, we had to get out. So we got out of there, and my buddies it was the three of us, and we're all drunk, but they weren't as drunk as I was. They walked me down to the bus, and it kind of carried me almost to the bus station. We got on the bus, and we had to sit in the very back of the bus. And I threw up 3 times right there in my lap. What a mess. So we got out of there, and we rode it back to the base, or back to the fort. And so when we got out of the bus, we had to go from there to our room, to the barracks. And I'm all messed up. I got crap all over me. I was terrible. So as we're walking over there, we had to go by this. There was a pond. There was a little pond on base there. And then one guy looks at the other guy, and it looks at me. They threw me in the pond. So when I got out of the pond, my uniform was pretty much clean, and they were joking and laughing. They thought it was so funny. So by the time we got back to the barracks, I got all changed up and everything, and took a little shower. I was already wet, and went to bed. Well, that was about 2 o'clock in the morning at this time. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, we had to get up for a PT test. That was not good. I was so hungover, but I was noticing things were interesting. Man, I could do sit-ups real quick. I did the run, dodge, and jump really quick. I could do push-ups. I was really great until it got down to the run. Excuse me. So I had to run, 2 miles, or no, 1 mile, and so many minutes you had to do it in. So I'm running along, but then all of a sudden I'm going slow. And the drill sergeant is behind me. He goes, "Come on, Private Libby, keep moving, keep moving." Okay, all right, ho-hum. And so my buddies are running by me, passing me. Hey, I'm trying to flag them down to walk with me, because I was plastered, by then. And but at the very end, they all passed, but I didn't. So I had to do it again the next morning. So the next morning I got out there and I did everything I was supposed to do, and I did pass the PT test. Because if you fail the PT test, you had to go back through cook school all over again. That was not going to work with me.